Hello and welcome back. This is Muhammad Kamal and this is the third and last act of All My Sins. I hope you get enjoyed a lot while watching. And now let's get started. This is Act 3 as we mentioned, and this is the summary. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and Chris has not returned. He left in horror after learning the truth about his father's guilt. Kate has sat outside waiting, while Anne has remained alone in her room inside the house. معنى البورت ده يا جماعة إن كانت الساعة 2 in the morning وكريس لسه مرجعش من ساعة ما عرف التروث الحقيقة about his father's guilt عن الذنب اللي اقترفه باباه. وهو دلوقتي كريس برا الهاوس برا البيت ومامته مستنياه وما تعرفش هو فين. Anne was not present when Chris learned the truth, but she saw him hurry away, weeping from the house. في الجزئية ديت أو في المشهد اللي كان كريس عرف الحقيقة من باباه وعرف إن باباه he's really guilty of the crime أنا ما كانتش موجودة أساسا and she didn't see the situation in which Chris got out from the house and he was crying so much. ما شافتش اللقطة اللي كريس كان فيها بيعيط وهو ماشي من البيت اللي هي أنت لو عايز تشوفها هتلاقيها في آخر مشهد في part 2 أو في act 2. وتعالى نشوف.
Any news?
No news.
You can't sit up all night, dear. Why don't you go to bed?
I'm waiting for Chris.
As Kate sits on her chair outside, Jim comes to talk with her. وهي قاعدة كيت جه جيم يتكلم معها. To Kate's surprise, Jim had guessed the truth long ago about Joe's responsibility for the crime. فاجئها دكتور جيم ان هو كان عارف الحقيقه اساسا ان جو كيلر he was really guilty of the crime. دكتور جيم كان عارف ان جو كيلر كان مذنب، عارف وساكت من زمان. Jim said that Chris was not able to guess the truth as he had. بيقول جيم ان كريس ما كانش يعرف وما قدرش يخمن الحقيقه زي ما خمنها دكتور جيم. Because it would have been too hard for him. لان كان صعب على واحد زي كريس اللي هو كان شخص idealistic شخص مثالي يخمن حاجه زي دي. Chris was not able to lie. Jim explains. دكتور جيم بيشرح بيقول ان كريس ده مش الشخص اللي يقدر يكذب. حتى هو بيقول لها في كوت an important quote يعني في مقتبس جميل في الستوري بيقول فيها it needs a certain talent of lying. يعني الموضوع ده محتاج موهبه للكذب. You have it and I have it but he doesn't have it. بيقول لها ان الموضوع ده محتاج موهبه في الكذب. انت الموهبه دي عندك كيت وعندي انا كدكتور جيم بس مش عنده واحد زي كريس. يعني بيقول ان كريس ده ما كانش يعرف the truth about what happened. يعني ما كانش يعرف الحقيقه. And he would have needed the ability to lie in order to accept the truth of his father's actions. يعني دي كانت محتاجه موهبه واحد كذاب يبقى عارف جريمه باباه ويبقى مخبي. الموهبه دي مش موجوده عند واحد idealistic يعني شخص مثالي زي كريس. تعال نشوف.
I always had the feeling that in the back of his head, Chris almost knew. I didn't think it would be such a shock.
Chris would never know how to live with a thing like that. It takes a certain talent for lying. Now you have it and I do, but not him.
What do you mean? He's not coming back?
Oh, no, he'll come back. We all come back, Kate. These private little revolutions always die. The compromise is always made.
As Jim leaves, ولما مشي Dr. Jim Jew comes outside to join his wife, who is surprised to learn their neighbor has known the truth all along. جو كيلر خرج من الهاوس ومتضايق ان واحد زي دكتور جيم اللي هو جارهم عارف الحقيقه طول الوقت ده. اوكي طبعا for sure he doesn't want people to know about his crime. يعني بالتاكيد مش عايز الناس تبقى عارفه عن الجريمه اللي هو اقترفها. Kate comes up with an idea about how Jew might resolve the problem between he and Chris. Her idea comes as a great shock for her husband. الحته دي مهمه جدا جدا نركز فيها قوي. اوكي وطقطق لي ودانك عشان تفهمها. كيت هنا بتحاول تحل السيتويشن الموقف ما بين كريس اللي هو خارج ولحد دلوقتي up till this moment he hasn't come back to the house. بتحاول تحل السيتويشن، الموقف ما بين كريس وما بين باباه. الحل بالنسبه لها اللي هو ايه؟ كان صدمه اساسا الحل ده بالنسبه لواحد زي جو كلا، اللي هو up to this moment he didn't realize how terrible the crime that he had committed. مش مدرك مدى بشاعة الجريمة اللي اقترفها. الحل هنا لسه هتقوله لهم. Kate suggested that Joe tell his son that he will confess his crime and take the consequences. She thinks that if Joe tells Chris that he is willing to give himself up to the police, that Chris will be satisfied with his apparent intent and not allow his father to go through with it. يعني تلخيص الجزئية دي كلها ان كيت بتقترح ان جو كلا يقول لابنه انه انا يا ابني معترف بالكرايم، الجريمة اللي انا عملتها، وان انا مستعد ان اشيل الكونسيكونسز. يعني الكونسيكونسز اللي هي results، التوابع يعني او العواقب. She thinks that if Joe tells Chris that he's willing to give himself up to the police, that Chris will be satisfied. هي شايفة ان لو كريس قال لابنه انا مستعد اسلم نفسي للبوليس، للشرطة، كريس هيبقى راضي بالاعتراف بالذنب عند باباه with this apparent intent، وبهذه النية. intent means intention اللي هي النية، والapparent يعني اللي هي appearing اللي هي ظاهرة يعني. and not allow his father to go through with it. واكيد هو مش هيسيب باباه يخش السجن. اذا هنا مختصر الكلام ده ان كيت بتقترح ان جو كيلر يقول لابنه ان يا ابني انا I confess the crime، انا معترف بالجريمة، و I'm willing to for everything، انا مستعد لاي شيء. I'm willing to go to the prison، انا مستعد اخش السجن and to be punished for the crime I had committed، واتعاقب على الكرايم، الجريمة اللي I had committed. To Joe, this seems like he's being blamed and condemned by his own wife to him. He's being told to admit to having committed a wrong when in his mind he still believes that he made the right decision. بالنسبة لواحد زي دوك ده، هو شايف ان هو بيلام وبتحتقره his wife، مراته، على something، على حاجة هو he didn't find that it's wrong to do. يعني هو حتى هذه اللحظة مش مدرك انه عمل حاجة غلط. He thinks that he did that for his family. هو جو كيلر معتقد ان عمل كده من اجل his family، عيلته. But in his mind he still believed that he made the right decision. هو فاكر وشايف ومقتنع that he made the right decision. هو عمل الديسيشن الصح، القرار الصح.
Joe, I've been thinking this way. If he comes back...
What do you mean if? He's coming back.
I think if you sit him down and you explain yourself, I mean, you ought to make it clear to him that you know you did a terrible thing. I mean, if he saw that you realize what you did. You see?
What ice does that cut?
I mean, if you told him you want to pay for what you did.
How can I pay?
Tell him you're willing to go to prison.
I'm willing to...
You wouldn't go. He wouldn't ask you to go. But if you told him you wanted to, if he could feel that you wanted to pay, maybe he would forgive you.
Joe's defense that he did everything for his family. Yeah, that's very important, to talk about. Joe's point of view, من وجهة نظره, he did everything for his family. He worked hard to build up a successful business. يعني هو اشتغل عشان يعمل a successful business، عمل ناجح. So that his family would have everything they needed. علشان عيلته تبقى عندها everything they needed. بيقول لها what's wrong with you? You needed money and I made money for you. أنا عملت الموني ده عشانك. His decision to ship out the 40 parts was also based on his love for his family. بيقول وبيوضح ان الديسيشن، قراري اني اشحن ال 40 parts اجزاء الطائرات اللي هي كانت بايظه was also based on his love for his family. القرار ده كان ناجم عن حبه لعائلته، لعائلته. Just to make a fortune for them، عشان يعمل لهم fortune and business and a lot of money. The key difference between his perspective and the perspective of Chris، يعني الفرق ما بين وجهة نظر جو كيلر وجهة نظر كريس ابنه. The definition of the family should not and cannot be limited only to those within your own household. And here we come to a very important point to talk about and discuss. ركز معايا في الحتة دي، مهمة جدا. هو الفرق هنا ما بين جو كيلر وما بين كريس، وان هما ازاي everyone thinks that he is right in his thoughts and opinions. ان جو كيلر شايف ان he did the right thing، هو عمل القرار الصح. ليه؟ لان he did that to make a fortune for his family، عشان يعمل ثروة لعيلته. ولكن بالنسبة لواحد زي كريس he thinks that his father is a criminal، باباه مجرم، and he killed the sons of America just for the sake of money. ولكن الفرق ما بينهم وبين بعض هو the definition of the word family، تعريف كلمة family، عائلة. for جو كيلر، بالنسبة لجو كيلر ودي فيها question، سؤال مهم جدا جدا. خلينا انا اقول لك السؤال عشان انت تركز معايا في الشرح اللي انا هقوله لك. ممكن يجي لك question عميق شوية في الاكزامز، في الامتحانات لو انت بتدرس يعني مسرحية زي دي، ويقول لك ايه the definition of the word family was different from Joe Keller to his son Chris. Discuss or talk about or illustrate. تعريف كلمة family يختلف من جو كيلر على ابنه كريس. ايه الفرق؟ The definition of the word family، تعريف الفاميلي بالنسبة لجو كيلر that those who are living within the same household، الناس اللي عايشين جوه جدران الهاوس. I mean by this the family is the father and the mother and the sons or daughters. This is what's meant by a family for Joe Keller. ده اللي هو معروف بمعنى family بالنسبة لجو كيلر. But for Chris، ولكن بالنسبة لكريس the definition of the word family means all the sons of America are just one family. All of the people are one family. During the war, we are like each other, and we should stand by each other and support each other. If you kill the sons of America, so you killed your family, because our family consists of our mother America, right? So that's why it was different from Chris to his father. لذلك حتى اللحظة دي كريس يعني مش مدرك، مش فاهم البوينت اوف فيو بتاعت باباه، وباباه برضه مش فاهم البوينت اوف فيو بتاعته. تعال نشوف.
He would forgive me. For what?
Joe, you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. You wanted money, I made money. What must I be forgiven? You wanted money, didn't you?
I didn't want it that way.
I didn't want it that way either. What difference is it what you want? I spoiled the both of you. I should have put him out when he was 10, like I was put out. And made him earn his keep. Then he'd know how a buck is made in this world. Forgiven. I could live on a quarter a day myself. But I've got a family.
Joe, it don't excuse it that you did it for the family.
It's gotta excuse
There's
it.
something bigger than the family to him.
Nothing is bigger.
There is to him.
There's nothing he could do that I wouldn't forgive, because he's my son. Because I'm his father and he's my son.
Joe, I tell you.
And nothing is bigger than that. And you're going to tell him, you understand? I'm his father, he's my son. And if there's something bigger than that, I'll put a bullet in my head.
You stop that.
You heard me.
Joe Keller wrongly believed that Larry felt the same way as he does. Joe says that Larry's world ended in the end of the property line. Likewise for Joe, the important people to take care of are those within your own family. But Chris sees a family of man of society, and as Joe soon learns, Larry felt this way too. The evidence of this is seen when Anne reveals her secret. نشرح this point الجزئية دي. إن جو كيلر wrongly كان عن طريق الخطأ أو مش مدرك إن لاري إحساسه مختلف. جو كيلر كان فاكر إن لاري ده اللي هو the deceased person، الشخص الميت أو الابن الميت الكبير ده. جو كيلر فاكر إن لاري is not like Chris، مش زي كريس، وإن لاري ده شخص not idealistic، شخص مش مثالي، but he's realistic، شخص واقعي، وإنه لو هو كان عايش كان هيقف جنب باباه في تفكيره، وإن لاري بيفكر في البيزنس زي باباه. وهو في المشهد ده جو كيلر يعني بيفتقد ابنه لاري، وبيقول لو لاري كان موجود لاري wasn't to be like Chris، ما كانش هيبقى زي كريس. لان لاري شايف ان برضو تعريف العائله هو الناس اللي عايشين جوه البروبرتي لاين اللي هو خط الملكيه او يعني within the family members. Likewise for the Jew، زي جو يعني هو كده جو كيلر شايف او فاهم ابنه اللي هو لاري فهمه غلط، فاكر ان لاري ده لو كان عايش كان هيبقى نفس تفكير جو كيلر اللي هو الاب. The important people to take care of are those within your own family. But Chris sees a family of a man of society. ولكن زي ما ذكرنا كريس يرى أن عائلة الإنسان هو the society, the whole society, المجتمع كله. ولكن بعدين هندرك أن جو كيلر didn't understand Larry well. جو كيلر لم يدرك حقيقة ابنه الميت جيدا. And he didn't know that his son Larry, the deceased person, was very idealistic. لم يدرك جو كيلر ان شخص لاري ابنه المفقود ده هو كان اكثر شخص idealistic مثالي within this play في المسرحية دي كلها. هيدرك جو كيلر انه ما كانش فاهم ابنه الميت ده ولما يعرف details. Okay, now let's see. تعال نشوف.
God damn it, if Larry was alive, he wouldn't act like this. He understood the way the world is made. Because he listened to me. To him, the world had a 40-foot front, ended at the building line. This one, everything bothers him. You make a deal, you overcharge. What, 2 cents? His hair falls out. Because he don't understand money. Too easy. It all came too easy. Yes, sir, Larry. That was a boy we lost.
Kate still refuses to acknowledge that Larry is dead. Kate مش مقتنعة إن Larry is dead. وما زالت she's refusing the marriage between Chris and Anne. رافضة المارج ما بين كريس وآن. Even though the truth has come out about Joe's part in the crime. بالرغم من الحقيقة ظهرت عن يعني عن تورط جو كيلر في الكرايم. يعني المفروض ان الحقائق ظهرت وان كل واحد يفشي سره ويتعامل بانه رياليزم بواقعية. ولكن ما زالت كيت is still thinking that Larry is alive somewhere in the world and he's coming back one day. ما زالت معتقد ان لاري ده لسه عايش وهيرجع في يوم من الايام. مين طبعا اللي هيتضرر من الفكره ديت؟ هيتضرر منها آن اللي هي she wants to marry Chris وكريس because he wants to marry Anne, right? those are the two persons that want to marry each other and they will confront Kate and they will face her with all weapons. يعني اكيد كريس وآن هم الاشخاص اللي هيقفوا في وجه كيت in this idea في الفكرة دي. At this point Anne makes a difficult decision. يعني في النهاية Anne استخدمت her last weapon استخدمت سلاحها الأخير اللي هو how to convince Kate the mother that Larry's dead. ازاي تقنع كيت ان لاري ميت. Anne makes a difficult decision and shows to Kate a letter written by Larry on the day he died. وريتها الخطاب اللي كان بعته لها لاري on the day he died في اليوم اللي هو مات فيه.
That's your life. That's your lonely life.
Larry is dead.
Don't speak to me.
I said he's dead. I know. He crashed off the coast of China November 25th. His engine didn't fail him, but he died. I know.
How did he die? You're lying to me. If you know, how did he die?
I loved him. You know I loved him. Would I have looked at anyone else if I wasn't sure? That's enough for you.
What's enough for me? What are you talking about?
You're hurting me.
What are you talking about?
Joe, go to the house.
Why should I go?
Please go.
Let me know when he comes.
What's that?
Sit down.
وبعد ما قرأت الخطاب كيت عرفت ان لاري had learned the use of the faulty parts. ان لاري وهو في الحرب كان عرف جاته اخبار عن ال faulty parts الاجزاء البايظه اللي باعها باباه and his father's involvement in the crime والتورط his father في الكرايم. It was too much for Larry to deal with. لاري اللي هو كان في الحرب at that time في الوقت ده و he found it so difficult to live with. يعني وجد ان الحقيقة دي صعب انه يعيش بيها ان his father is a criminal ان باباه مجرم and he killed his colleagues in the war يعني وقتل زمايله في الحرب. He felt hatred for his father. شعر لاري وهو في الحرب في الوقت ده بكراهية تجاه his father and couldn't live with this grief. وما قدرش يعيش بالgrief ده. What's meant by grief? Grief means sadness. Larry didn't simply disappear. لاري حقيقته didn't disappear. هو مش اختفى. Didn't disappear. What Anne has always known is that Larry committed suicide. لاري في الحقيقة committed suicide يعني ارتكب انتحار because of what his father did. The worst fears of Joe and Kate are realized. Larry died because of you. وهنا يعني أدركت أصعب الفاكس الحقائق اللي هي إن لاري didn't die. لاري ما ماتش a natural death موت طبيعي, but he killed himself. ولكن لاري killed himself, قتل نفسه because of his father's crime, بسبب جريمة باباه. When Kate reads the letter, لما كيت بتقرأ كانت letter وهنشوف دلوقتي, she has no choice but to accept the reality of Larry's death and Jew's guilt. ما قدرتش تعمل أي حاجة غير إنها تقبلت Larry's death بموت لاري. She couldn't struggle anymore. She couldn't argue anymore in this idea. ما قدرتش تجادل. And she realized that Jew was guilty. وأدركت بالguilt اللي هو الذنب اللي عمله جو كده.
You made me show it to you. You wouldn't believe me. I told you 100 times. Why wouldn't you believe me?
My God.
Kate, please.
My God. My God.
Kate, dear, I'm so sorry.
Okay, وزي ما شفنا, for Jew the truth is also clear. بالنسبة لجو كده ظهرت الحقيقة. For the first time he has always put his own family first. But to Larry and Chris, all of the men who risked their lives and died in the war were Jewish sons. Chris's and Larry's understanding of family went beyond the property line of their home. The meaning of this part, معنى الجزئية ديت إن جو كده أدرك for the first time how terrible the crime he had committed. يا لها من بشعة الجريمة التي ارتكبها. And he knew that, وعرف إن بالنسبة ل his two sons لولاده اللي هما Chris and Larry, the definition of the family was different from his. تعريف الفاميلي مختلف عنه. And all the sons of America are their father's sons also. when all my sons ديت, it doesn't mean your biological sons Larry and Chris, but it means all the sons of America are your sons like we, our father. يعني بيقولوا له إن your sons are not only Larry and Chris, مش بس Larry and Chris هم your sons, ولكن all the sons of America are your sons. And that's why we can deduce now why this play was called All My Sons.
Listen to this and tell me what a man's got to be. My dear Anne, you listening? He wrote this the day he died. You listen. Don't cry. Listen. My dear Anne, it is impossible to put down the things I feel, but I've got to tell you something. Yesterday, they flew in a load of papers from the States, and I read about Dad and your father being convicted. I can't express myself. I can't tell you how I feel. I can't bear to live anymore. Last night, I circled the base for 20 minutes before I could bring myself in. How could he have done that? Every day, 3 or 4 men never come back, and he sits back there doing business. I don't know how to tell you what I feel. I can't face anybody. I'm going out on a mission in a few minutes. They'll probably report me missing. If they do, I want you to know that you mustn't wait for me. I tell you, Anne, if I had him there now, I could kill him. Now blame the world. You understand that letter?
I think I do.
Get the car, I'll put on my jacket.
Why are you going? You'll sleep. Why are you going?
I can't sleep here. I'll feel better if I go.
You're so foolish. Larry was your son too, wasn't he? You know he'd never tell you to do this.
Then what is this if it isn't telling me? Sure, he was my son. But I think to him they were all my son. And I guess they were.
With this realization وبهذا الإدراك Jew sees only one option. لم يدرك ولم يرى جوكلر إلا قدامه one option اللي هو one choice اختيار واحد. He goes inside the house saying that he will be right back. دخل وقال أنا هرجع بسرعة. A gunshot is heard. A gunshot, actually you know what's meant by a gunshot اللي هي الطلقة. صوت ضرب نار is heard. And Chris rushes inside. Chris gets into the house quickly, and Jew has taken his own life to discover that his father has really killed himself. اكتشف إن جو كيلر باباه قتل نفسه. He fired himself.
I'll be right down.
You're not going to take him.
I'm taking him.
It's up to you. If you tell him to stay, he'll stay.
And you're responsible to it. Unless you know that, then you threw away your son. Because that's why he died. Find Jim.
Okay, and this is the last scene and the most beautiful scene in this play. ده آخر مشهد وأجمل مشهد بالنسبة لي جدا جدا جدا. Okay.
بس قبل ما نقول شرح المشهد الأخير ده معلش بنزل تحت واعمل سبسكرايب للشانل لو انت شايف ان انت استفدت من this content للمحتوى ده. لا بليز ما تكسلش، ما تقولش في الاخر، لا بليز انزل حضرتك واعمل سبسكرايب. Okay.
And this is the last scene. Chris is close to tears. Chris في المشهد ده he found his father. He's dead. His father really committed suicide also. بابا أيضا قتل نفسه. And Chris was about to have tears. كان على وشك إنه يعيط. يعني ماما يعني أنت ما عيطتش. And he tries to tell his mother that this end was not his intention. He's telling his mother now. بيقول لمامته mother that was not my intention. يعني أنا ما كنتش ناوي to do this. إن بابا يعمل ده مثلا. Kate doesn't want her son to carry guilt from his father's death after living a life for so long. هي مش عايزة ابنها يعيش في الذنب ده and to live while carrying his father's guilt and to think that I was the reason why my father killed himself. يعني عايزة تخرج ابنها من الإحساس بالذنب ده. After living a life for so long, she wants her son to live free from the torment of guilt. عايزة ابنها يعيش عن يعني بعيد عن إحساس الذنب أوكي أو عذاب الذنب. Kate's final words before the curtain falls. آخر كلام قالته Kate قبل ما الكورتين falls. She said to him this sentence, and this is very important for you to memorize. She told him, don't take it on yourself, forget now and live. بمعنى ما تحملش نفسك الذنب وعيش حياتك.
Mother, I didn't mean to.
Don't, dear. Don't take it on yourself. Forget now. Live. Shush. Shush.
And thank you for watching this video, and if you love this, share the content with your friends that you find they are interested in this content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you next time and have fun.